All right, now from that story from Emmanuel To, we get to our conversation where we're talking about using 3D in construction. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are joined by Adam Ahmed, who is the CEO, Camhurst Ecosystem. Thank you so much for joining us on Business today.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
All right, and let's get right into the conversation and look at construction industry in Kenya. From when you started this particular type of helping or improving the construction, how has it been? And first of all, even from before you get to that, how is the construction industry in Kenya so far?
Okay, so Kenya, like most of the countries, has a huge shortage of skilled labor. Mm-hmm. And the traditional way of construction, building any type of property, whether it's a home or any kind of commercial building, mm-hmm. the problem is the traditional way is just too slow. And that is the problem which has caused a global housing crisis and a housing shortage. And Kenya has a huge shortage of homes that are needed.
Mm-hmm. All right. Even as we speak about, you've spoken about the shortage that is there, we are seeing very many buildings coming up. People are constructing a lot of apartments for rent and making sure that they get that money at the end of the month. And when it comes to this, are we using the right channels, especially when it comes to even sourcing for the environment where we are building, the land, and also the structures that we are bringing up?
Yeah, for sure. Look, there are many different techniques of building, especially if you're building apartments. And the exciting thing is that, yes, there's good developments going on because mm-hmm. Kenya is growing. Kenya is one of the main hubs of Africa. Nigeria, Kenya, there are few countries which are seeing a lot of developments happening. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. The potential is enormous. But because of the shortage of skilled labor, and like I said, the traditional ways are just too slow. It's like tortoise snail pace of building properties these days.
All right, and now let's bring in 3D type of printing and how it's improving construction, because now that we lack skills, how is 3D coming in to elevate or to make work easier for construction?
For sure. Look, first thing 3D concrete printing does is automates an industry which hasn't for many decades had seen any kind of automation. Mm-hmm. So technology, when you embrace technology, it makes great things happen. And 3D concrete printing is the future of construction. What normally takes many weeks, many months to build a small house, with 3D concrete printing robots, you can build the walls of a small house in 48 to 72 hours, wow. which is a game changer. Mm-hmm. So this technology took us many years, millions of dollars, mm-hmm. and it was the initial prototype was developed in USA. We had it shipped over to the UK, mm-hmm. and that's where we're based, Greater Manchester in UK, where we have now created the world's best 3D concrete printing robot.
All right, and now the 3D concrete robotics, how does it work? Because someone might be seated and say, okay, so how does it really work? What goes into this?
Sure, I mean, the way it works very similar to any 3D printer, mm-hmm. but most of the companies around the world have struggled to be able to get a 3D printer to work cost-effectively or effectively. Mm-hmm. And we've got an amazing team. This amazing team of technology experts have got this amazing robot to work, and we are able to now, from next month, start mass producing these robots. And we believe these Camhurst, robots are going to be able to supply robots all over the world. And we, last October, signed a $1 million social housing MOU in Nigeria. I was on, again, national TV there, along with meeting the Nigerian housing minister. So we believe the Camhurst 3D robot is the best solution. The way it works, going back to your question, is the software program operates similar to a CNC machine. And whatever you program into that software, to that laptop, the 3D printer starts to pour concrete, and it keeps pouring the concrete and builds two parallel walls until the structure is up. And because of the way this technology been created and how we've sort of perfected this technology, we believe that as more and more construction companies in Kenya buy this, they're going to be able to build more affordable homes, and we can build all sorts of properties and solve the housing and other shortages in Kenya.
Right. And also, still on this and how it works, you know, it's not easy to convince a person who has gotten used to manual labor. They come, they place the concrete, they place the bricks and everything else, and telling them, okay, we're going to use a machine to just make sure that it draws whatever has been drawn on the laptop or the software. So how does Kenya embrace this? And if it has worked before, what are some of the projects that you've done, and you can say, okay, this building is okay? Because you see, someone who's at home will be saying, okay, is this something that we're just saying for the sake of saying, or has it really worked before in our country?
Yeah, look, we have taken many years to develop the technology. Up to now, the solutions are on the market. Many of our competitors, we thank them because we've learned from them. And we realize how they have built properties, very strong, some very beautiful looking properties with 3D concrete printing robots. Our head of R&D has worked with many of these companies who have built these properties in numerous different places like USA, Germany, other locations. We realize what is stopping construction companies from embracing this technology. And that was that the 3D printing robots from most of our competitors were not a cost-effective solution. Secondly, there were other issues related to setbacks with stopping it from going mainstream. Setup time being one. Like I said, cost is the second issue.
Yes.
Logistics to get it over to Kenya, because some of these robots were extremely heavy. So what we did in the last few years is focus on how can we create a cost-effective and a reliable solution that construction companies all over the world, in places like Kenya, which is growing, needs this solution. Construction companies can partner with us, and whichever construction company partners with us first, they will have that edge over the other construction companies, because they'll be able to build, for less and faster.
All right. Now, let's also look at the environment, because many a times when construction happens, you find the area surrounding that particular construction area is not left the way it was found. And at the end of the day, you find some trees are cut down, you find the ecosystem around the construction area is not really left to survive. So when you use this kind of type of construction, how is the environment going to benefit from this?
I think it's a very good question. We are very conscious about building in a sustainable way, in an eco-friendly way, and in a very organized way. And we want minimum damage to the environment. And one of the key things with 3D concrete printing is there's very little waste. The traditional way where you create formwork and the concrete is obviously put in between the formwork, that formwork has to be disposed. And that then has to be put into landfills, which isn't good for the environment and is time consuming. So when you use a 3D printer, it's so accurate, you consider that the best part of it is creating very little waste. And it's a safer way to build. So people have a more safer environment to build in. And the best thing about it is you can build more homes, build faster, and build more affordable homes, which is the most important thing. And even
save time, as you
Absolutely.
said. All right. Let's look at the logistics of bringing these particular machines, because as you mentioned earlier, it's, of course, the setbacks. Some of the challenges is how to transport these particular machines into the country and also in Nairobi or in Kenya. So going forward, how do you make sure that these machines are with us? Because I believe if it's something that is supposed to take off, it really, very many people would want to try it because it's a very interesting idea. So therefore, how easy is the logistics of this?
Okay, so it's very, very easy the way we've done it. This is what I'm saying. This is the main reason we're one of the very few companies in the world. Not only do we perfected this technology to where it's easy to deliver all over the world because it goes inside a 24 container. Now, the robot comes with a number of other things. It comes within that 24 container. You have a concrete mixer, you have a diesel generator, we supply the laptop, software, tools, everything you would need for when the container arrives for the construction company simply to hire a silo and get on with building houses.
So do we currently have any in the country?
Not at the moment, because we've literally took many years to get the technology right. The good news is that we've just in Greater Manchester, Camus Robots is based in Greater Manchester. In the next 7 to 14 days, we have the hybrid new robot fully ready. We have our suppliers all ready to start sending the components. It works in a similar way to a car manufacturer.
Okay.
So where a car manufacturer doesn't make the engine, they don't make the seats, they don't make the windscreen. Similarly, we've created the amazing 3D concrete printing robot. We've engaged suppliers in the UK who are now manufacturing the components, and they come to our factory in Greater Manchester. Our assembly and testing teams literally can assemble. We'll have a number of teams working from next month who are going to assemble, test, and they go into a 24 container, and I'm sure there'll be many of these 3D concrete printing robots this year coming to Kenya.
All right, thank you for that. And now as we conclude this conversation, the future of construction and how the 3D is going to change the way we view construction from your perspective, what do you think we are looking at in the coming years?
I think it's the future of construction. Countries are beginning to realize, companies are beginning to realize that Camus Robots is ready to transform the construction industry. And where there are challenges, I have just come from Central African Republic. 6 days ago, I was able to sign an MOU with the Minister of Housing in Central African Republic. We're going to be building schools, clinics, affordable homes, shopping malls. We're going to be building universities, colleges, government building. So I have the MOU here that we signed with them. So Central African Republic have embraced this technology, and we're going to be sending obviously the 3D cameras, 3D printing robots there. But the problem always tends to be, like in your country as well, how do you build affordable houses? How do you fund this? And it's a challenge most governments have got. And what we've done is we also, within the Camus ecosystem, have many solutions. And we're the hub for innovation. We provide innovators a home and a launch pad. And because of that, we also have a technology. That technology is high-tech land scanners. And the high-tech land scanners can help detect resources below the ground. So we're talking about gold, diamond, oil, precious metal, precious stone. We're able to, through this strategic partner, discover these resources, and once we discover them, we're able to monetize them. And because of that, I was able to sign an MOU with the Mines Ministry of Central African Republic. We're going to help them to monetize their resources, and some of that can be used for affordable homes, for building the infrastructure.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. We have to go for a short break. That is Adam Ahmed, who is the CEO Camhurst ecosystem, trying to just tell us about this 3D construction and how it's going to change the construction industry. And we are sure going to be waiting for the particular machines when they come, so that at least we see how they really work and how they can improve the construction industry around Kenya. All right, we're going to go for a short break, but when we come back, we are going to speak about insurance for the expatriates and how Kenyan insurance companies can create products for these particular people. So don't go too far.